Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a Dubsado certified specialist. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a scheduler to embed onto your website so clients can book calls with you directly. There's a couple of things that we need to do before we get this set up, but first of all, make sure to hit subscribe so you get notified when my new YouTube tutorials come online. So before we create the scheduler, first of all, we're going to do a couple of things. The first thing is, if you are embedding a scheduler onto your website, you need to have a lead capture form attached. If you don't have a lead capture form attached, then it's not going to create the project and it's going to be like Houdini. You won't be able to find it. So let's go over to the Forms tab, and here is where you can create your lead capture form. And there's a couple of basic things that you need to have in the lead capture form for it to be able to create a project. I've already created this lead capture form, but you can style it however you want. The way that the scheduler works is they will pick a time and then they will fill out the form, kind of the same as Calendly, and then they will get their confirmation email, which I'm going to show you how to set that up, and your reminder emails for that specific call. So there's a couple of things that you need on your lead capture form. The first name, last name, and email address are the basic information that you need to have on your lead capture form for it to create a project in Dubsado. If you're a photographer, then you can ask for a preferred date, which you can map to the project date. You can ask specific questions. You can really customize this to however you need it to be. Basic things that I would include though is, how did you hear about us? Because this is going to help you with your marketing for you to find out exactly where they found you. So you can actually create your own sources, and then you can go over into the project breakdown dashboard and you can see where all of your leads have been coming from. And you can also have a referral if you have a referral scheme. So you can also add the workflow tab where they can select their service and they can go into a specific workflow for that specific service. But just not be known that when they schedule the call, you're not going to want to send out another call scheduler because they've already scheduled the call. So you might not want to attach a workflow. There's two ways you can attach a workflow. So one is by the default using that workflow module, or you can head over to the form settings, and here is where you can set a specific workflow that they can all go through. But like I said, it's not essential to set a workflow because we're actually embedding the scheduler and they're booking the calls. You might need to make the decision after the call of what the next steps are going to be, rather than having it automate that workflow for you. So a couple of things that you can add here, which I would say are important, is the project status. So you're going to want to add that as call booked. So after they've booked the call and they've filled out this lead capture form, they're going to go into that project status so you can see everyone that's booked a call with you. Another thing is the project title. So if you're asking something like company name here, you can customize this with the client name, and then you can use the client smart fields by selecting the company name. So only if you're using that within an element, you can actually use it here. So you've got to map it for it to be able to show up. So those are just the basic things of the lead capture form. If you want to know how to create your own lead capture form and style it, I have a blog and I will link that down below. But this blog post actually goes through everything, and there's a YouTube video that shows you exactly how to create a lead capture form. This is more for creating the lead capture form with workflows attached and showing you how to do that. But it also has down the bottom some CSS snippets. So if you want to customize to your branding, then I give you all the details and the breakdown of how to do this in that video. So let's go back over to Dubsado, and once you've saved this form, then you can head over to the canned emails. So you're going to want to set up your confirmation canned email, your reminder canned email. So usually I do 2 reminders because people just forget or they don't see them. So it's important to have the correct reminders set. If you don't know what to put in these, then I actually have some high converting Dubsado canned emails that you can download completely for free. These are the emails that I use to book my clients' discovery calls, and they've got 100% booking rate and 100% no ghost rate. And I'm going to give them completely for free. So you can just sign up on this, and I will link that below in the comments as well. So once you've added your confirmation, your 24-hour reminder, 1-hour reminder, remember these can be customized however you want them to be, then we can dive into the scheduler. So if you head over to scheduler, then we can add a new to create our new template for this scheduler. So the first things that you're going to have to do is make the appointment name. So we are going to name this discovery call with, and then you can put your name. I'm going to write my name. Then you can choose your appointment duration, how long this appointment is going to last for. So I'm going to say 30 minutes for a discovery call. And then you can select when can this appointment scheduler, and then you can select when can this appointment be scheduled. So there's a couple of different options here, and most people will either pick rolling day window or indefinitely. So if you want somebody to be able to book in a year's time, then you can select indefinitely. But if you want them to only be able to book within 30 days, so say it only goes up to the end of the month and they can't book in, and then when the time ticks over, it will keep on going forward. So you can select 30-day rolling window, and then it will show for the next month. Then you've got the time. So remember just to click off this if you're putting new times, otherwise it can be a bit glitchy and it won't show the correct time. So I'm going to do 9:30 till 3:30. And then select add all times, and then you can select whether you only want it for the day or whether you want it for every single Thursday or every single day of the week for that day, for that specific day, sorry. And then you can remove it. So maybe, okay, you don't want anybody to book in on Fridays, so we're just going to say no calls booked on Fridays. So you can go through and customize all of the days. So you can do 9:30 till 3:30, and then if you wanted to do 5 till 7, then you can do increments and add as many as you want. By default, you're probably going to want this to be set as busy because you don't want people to book in for the same time, but you do have the option of putting it as available as well. Location, you can put a physical location, or you can put your Zoom link or your Google Meet link if you use one link for every single client. So you can do it that way, or you can add your video conferencing, which will generate a new video link for every single person going forward. So you have the option to set that up in the settings under integration and connect your video conferencing, and then it will come up with this box for you to be able to tick. The canned email that gets sent with this, because you are not sending it in a workflow, and it's going to be a link that you're going to embed on your website, or I'm going to show you how to create a short link for you to then quickly send to people outside. So you just want them to be instantly to be able to book in. Then I use a short link because it's easy for me to remember. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you don't need a canned email set up, but you can opt to add one if you want to. Under Advanced tab, this is where we're going to put the prevention of them being able to book. So if you don't want people to book in instantly, then you need to put a buffer time for that. So I'm going to put 24 hours so people can't book in until 24 hours after. Then you can put a buffer, so you can create a window before and after so people aren't booking back. Then you can do increments, and you can do this where it's displayed on the scheduler. So you could do 1, 1:15, 1:30, 1:45, or you can do it in 30 minutes. That's completely up to you. Allow maximum appointments per day. This means that if you only want 3 people to be able to schedule in for a discovery call per day, and you don't want to get completely booked out on all the same days, then you can put in a maximum time that it can be scheduled. Allow the scheduler to be used. So if you only want to ever be able to book in for 1 discovery call, not that you ever would, but you can set it as the maximum times that you can use this. I don't really advise this unless you're using it as a time sensitive scheduler. You can also write a welcome message that will display on the top of the scheduler when you embed it onto your website. And this is where you're going to put those canned emails that we just spoke about. So I'm going to put the scheduler confirmation. Then you are going to want to attach that lead capture form. This is such an important step that please don't forget to do it, because otherwise you're going to be like, where are they? When did they schedule? And you're just not going to be able to find it. You want it to create that project, and the only way it's going to do that is through the lead capture form. So then we're going to select the lead capture form. You can add a redirect here, but I think personally it's better for them to see the confirmation page of the time that they've actually booked, because some people won't go to check their emails and then they might find that, okay, I booked for the wrong time. At least it's visual on the screen by not having that redirect URL. If you are going to have a redirect URL, I would always redirect them back to go and checking their inbox and finding that confirmation. You can add on an invoice as well. So it'll be scheduler, then lead capture form, then paying an invoice. So you can turn that on and put a description. But remember, it will only be pay in full and it will be a fixed price for every single person that uses this scheduler. Notifications, this is where we're going to want to put in our 24-hour. Again, you can make this custom to whatever you want it to be, but I'm going to select 24-hour. And then remember to hit add, otherwise it will not save. And then you need to do, well, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to do 1 hour. That's what works for me and my clients. So I'm going to do 1 hour reminder. And then you have the option to add on the monthly view. I quite like to have the monthly view rather than week by week. I find that it's better for user interface. So I'm going to switch this on. And then all you need to do is just hit save. Then your scheduler will be saved and you'll be taken back to the scheduler page. So then you'll see this scheduler here, and here is where you can click on this icon and it's going to give you the iframe that we want to embed onto the contact form or wherever you're going to embed it on your website. But first, I just want to show you how to create a short link with this. So you're never going to remember this URL. Let's be real, you're never going to remember it. So if you want to have something that you are going to remember, then I highly suggest using shortlink.io. It's completely free. So I use SiteGround for my hosting. So I set up my CNAME for my subdomain. So my subdomain is go.zerawarboys.co.uk. So I've just put the go in front because it's short and easy for me to. So you can set up your CNAME. They've got step-by-step instructions. It's really easy to use. And then all you have to do is paste in your URL here. So I'm going to grab this URL. And then I'm going to go over here and paste this in, and it's going to automatically pop up with some random text that I don't want. So you can customize this, and I'm just going to call it discovery or discovery. So you are more likely to remember this, and it also gives you analytics as well. So you can see how many people, when you send this out, so if somebody is emailing you and you're like, okay, I just want to add a quick link to my scheduler, then you can see how many times people are using it. If you can use it in the bottom of your email campaign, so you can put this scheduler link anywhere that you want, and it will track the analytics of how many people are clicking through on it. So once you've done that, just select save, and then it's there and it's good to go, and you can save it and you can use it. So if I show you now, I'm just going to copy it and I'm just going to go here. You'll see that we've now got the availability, so you can select the times, and then when you go through and hit submit and next, it will take it to the form to be able to fill out. So the next step is to embed this onto your website. So let me show you now. So I use WordPress and Divi, so I've just created a new page, a draft page for this. So I'm going to add in a row, and then I'm going to add in a code block. So this will be the same for every single website. You will have to add a code block. It could be called HTML or something like that. So just find your code block, and then we're going to go back to the iframe, and we're just going to paste this, copy and paste this in. So you actually don't need the script here, and you don't need it at the end. You just need the iframe, because I find that sometimes with my website, it can be a bit glitchy, and when you're on mobile, it'll just keep flashing. So if you have that problem and people can't actually click on it because it just keeps going flashing back and forth, just remove that and just use the iframe, and it will fix the problem. So the next thing is, obviously you can see we've got this like horrendous scroll bar. No one's going to be able to find this. So we just need to add a tiny bit of code, and it's really, really simple. So after the min width, where it says 100%, and then it's got a semicolon, I just want you to write in here min height, and then put a colon 900 px, which is pixels. So now you'll see when it loads, that we have the whole form here, so there's no scroll bar. There will be a scroll bar on this section. That's just by default what it's like with Dubsado, so don't worry about that. It just makes it easier for people to be able to find it. Then we are going to make sure that this is correct on tablet and mobile. So I'm just going to check on tablet, and this looks absolutely fine on tablet, and then on mobile you can adjust it as well. So obviously they have to select the time on tablet and mobile for the times to for the date, sorry, for the times to come up. So 900 pixels works absolutely fine. And then once you're done with that, you can just hit save, and then we can view it in real time and make sure that everything, and just make sure that you're testing it as well. So do it on a draft page first, test it to see that your confirmation goes out and you're happy with it. You're happy with how the lead capture form is, and then you can make it public and start using it on your website. Always test everything because you never know if something is not going to be right. I'm just going to exit this and then we can have a look. So perfect. So we can choose the date. So then you can hit submit and next, and then it will go through to your form. Personally, I think not to have a styled form with the scheduler because it's going to be a nightmare with a scroll bar. So if anything, I would actually just remove this banner. You don't need it. I was just being a bit lazy because I didn't want to make another one. So you can just have like the simple form here, and then it won't have that scroll bar on the side. So that is how to create and embed a scheduler onto your website to start collecting leads with Dubsado.